Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generation discussion. And today I want to bring to your attention a Boruto fan theory that was brought up not by one of my patrons or anybody over in the Patreon Discord server, but instead it was brought up in a comment under a Twitter post that I made yesterday promoting the collaboration I did with King Bullet on how strong Team 7 be after the time skip. And one of the comments stood out for a really good topic of discussion, which is the person Avocado Lime 27 asked if there was going to be a possibility of Momoshiki transferring his consciousness into the husk of Shibai towards the end of Boruto, or if that was ever a possibility to consider. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is that it would narratively have a huge impact if that ended up being how the manga ended up going, and it's for a few different reasons. The first reason is that we have all wondered how Boruto will eventually rid himself of Momoshiki. I don't think many people believe that Boruto ends the series with a hostile alien parasite inside of him sharing his soul because he exists inside the DNA inside of Boruto. While I have said before, I think that the likely thing that Kishimoto follows is the Momotaro folklore that inspired Momoshiki's character, and Boruto ends up with Momoshiki as an ally by the end of the series. While I think that's the likely outcome, the fun thing about looking over the fan theories that you guys submit to me sometimes is you guys offer different takes that lead to a good conversation down in the comment section below, and I think this is a great example of this. But you will have some people over on Reddit who apparently think that nobody ever sends me these fan theories, which that just shows that before commenting you might want to actually look at my content. However, that basically gives us an answer to how Boruto will get freed of Momoshiki by the end of the series itself. I've often seen people say you could just use the Reaper Death Seal, and if we're being honest, I'm not sure if you could actually do something like that, just given that Boruto and Momoshiki's souls are interconnected to the extent that they are, where you have to ask the question, could something like that even work without affecting Boruto in a negative way? And you even have to ask the question of, can the Reaper Death Seal even be applied in that manner? Because this isn't the exact same thing that Minato did when he split Kurama's chakra in half, and he literally sealed half of the Nine Tails into himself to make that half of the Nine Tails die with Minato, then use the 8-sign seal on Naruto to seal in that remainder inside of Naruto. You need someone to willingly give up their life in order to attempt that, and there's no guarantee it will work, which is why the suggestion that Avocado Lime suggested might actually be a better option in the grand scheme of things. Momoshiki was there and heard all the talk of Shibai's husk remaining behind, somewhere that Amato at least knows the location of, because he previously tried to extract the DNA of Shibai to implant it into people like Code, Ada, and Damon, and whatever else humans that Amato experimented on that Jigen ordered Boro to destroy because their power surpassed Jigen. This isn't necessarily the craziest route to take either, because we know that Momoshiki can still hijack Boruto's consciousness. Amato told us as much after Kawaki killed Boruto and Boruto came back to life, and we saw as much when Momoshiki took over Boruto's body to allow Kawaki to escape after Boruto got exhausted following his battle with Kawaki and sustained the injury he did when he protected Sarada from Kawaki's attack. So it's not too far-fetched to say Momoshiki pulls something like this after learning where Amato kept Shibai's body, and Momoshiki hijacks control of Boruto when Boruto runs too low on chakra. The question then turns to how would Momoshiki do that, and I think we have a possible answer: the Karma Seal. There are still a lot of unknowns that we don't have with the Karma Seal, like the fact that Amato wasn't sure if it would even be possible for someone with the Karma Seal to have it placed on top of another Karma Seal when Boruto and Kawaki had the theory of placing Karma on the Code. And it seems the further we get into Boruto's story, the less we actually know about Karma, because there appears to be new information at each and every turn. However, the prospect of Momoshiki inside of Shibai's body unboxes a world of possibilities where you don't truly know what you're getting in terms of quality, unlike if you unbox an anime figure from Savet AF, which is going to be a sponsor of today's video. This video is going to be sponsored by Savet AF, which I am extremely excited to say that I am working with them again. As you guys know, I am a huge collector of anime figures, and the last time Savet AF sent me their Maru Uchiha statue that I did an unboxing for, but this time I've been sent a figure of the GOAT, Itachi Uchiha, with this being their upcoming statue done by Rocket and Panda Studio, which is going to be limited to 288 statues being produced. So not only are you getting extremely high quality, but you're getting it at a very affordable price, and there's not going to be a lot of these floating around, so you do not want to miss out. Which, if any of you guys have collected anime figures, you know that that this can be a quite expensive habit, which is why the prices for Savette AF's website being so affordable is a really big win. This 1/8 scale Itachi figure was really easy for us to put together when we unboxed it. So easy, in fact, that even Naruto could have put it together, and the level of attention to detail that went into making this figure is enough to make you want to start restoring the Uchiha clan, even though this figure of Itachi was done right before Itachi massacred the Uchiha clan. The level of detail is hands down some of the best I've seen with 1/8 scale figures. I've actually purchased more figures from Savette AF, so I definitely put my money where my mouth is with this brand. With the Pain statue that I have on top of one of my bookshelves, with some of my other figures being one of my most prized possessions, and it pleases me to say that Savette AF easily sells some of the best quality figures I've ever purchased, but I prefer to use them because of their high quality and attention to detail that can only be explained as it being something made by true fans of the Naruto franchise. Check out my link in the description box and the pinned comment to purchase your own figures, which they sell other anime besides Naruto, because you're not going to want to miss out on this Itachi pre-order or some of the other anime figures they sell. Thank you again to Savette AF for sponsoring today's video. So I don't think it was by mistake that we had Momoshiki not only say that he was aware of Shibai's existence in this arc right after Momoshiki lost his chance of resurrecting inside of Boruto's body, and is shown getting annoyed at the fact that his soul and his thoughts are crossing over with Boruto on a deeper connection. And we've seen that Momoshiki isn't above playing the long game to get the things that he desires the most, like how he tried to gaslight Boruto into despair to make his chakra unbalanced enough to take over his body. However, now that we have something that directly links to that, I think it's something we do have to explore. While I'm not personally a fan of this theory, there are elements of it that I actually like. Shibai's body is still there, existing without a soul inside of it, because Shibai has reached a point where he no longer requires a body to exist. He's above that samsaric cycle of karma, i.e. the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. I think that's a major Chekhov's gun, because you don't introduce something like that and then leave it unanswered. It might take us a long time to seek a proper payoff for it, just like it took us several hundreds of chapters to learn what really happened to Shisui after we got that Sasuke and Itachi flashback in Naruto Volume 25. This might be a long-term play by Momoshiki, because he still appears set to try and harvest a chakra fruit, and getting hold of a body that has already reached god status and is in possession of multiple shinjutsu is going to allow for a problem for Boruto and company to face, because Momoshiki merely said he had knowledge of all shinjutsu. He never said he had mastery of all shinjutsu. Meanwhile, Shibai was stated to be so powerful that screaming brought forth thunderstorms and waving his arms made entire windstorms. That's a lot of power inside of that one body, and the Otsutsuki clan law is the transference of power. So it makes sense for Momoshiki to try claiming that power for his own by either claiming the body itself or potentially feeding Shibai's body to the god tree. But we won't go there because that'll get this video off track. So this also allows the story to do two things at once, two very important things at once. First, it allows the Boruto to have a meaningful way to get freed of the karma seal, something that both Boruto and Kawaki have sought out. And second, it allows the story to come full circle by having Momoshiki, the first villain of the series, suddenly become the final villain of the series, paying off the fact that he was the one villain who has stuck around in universe for the longest during Boruto's manga run. I want to start with that second point first before going to the first point, because there's one major element to that first point that I think blows this whole topic of conversation up. So I want to save that for last in order to end the video off on a strong point. I think it's really poetic to end with Boruto and Momoshiki being locked in battle at the end of the series, and I think that this is one way you could actually do it. I don't think it would piss off too many people. When Momoshiki was first introduced, the Boruto movie novelization did a really good job of highlighting how Boruto looked at Momoshiki eating the chakra pills and gaining power very quickly without working hard, and it scared Boruto because it made him literally view his future version of himself as a monster like Momoshiki if Boruto continued down this path of cheating and looking for shortcuts, and never acquired the discipline that Sasuke is trying to instill in Boruto by having him value the hard work that comes with being a shinobi. In that battle, Boruto came in at the very end to get the last blow, but it's disingenuous to say that the battle was Naruto and Sasuke and Boruto versus Fused Momoshiki. That was basically if this was Final Fantasy X, one of my favorite video games of all time, by the way. And you have Yuna and Waka, and they handle all the hard work in the fight, and then you step in and let's say Orin or somebody come in to get the finishing blow so they could get the experience and points and level up. That's basically what Naruto and Sasuke did with Boruto. The Sasuke Shinden Teacher Star Pupil story goes in detail about the fact that like Naruto and Sasuke basically wanted Boruto to experience what it's like to wield high level ninjutsu, so it would allow him to want to train harder to acquire that level of power that Naruto gave him for the Rasengan, and how there was some regret on Sasuke's end for even bringing Boruto down to that battlefield. This time, this would be the original threat of the series, Momoshiki, the threat that the Kage were so worried about returning and saying that Naruto couldn't defeat him if Momoshiki came back stronger inside of Boruto's body. Given that Naruto no longer had Kurama, this time it would be Boruto as one of the drivers in that battle against the stronger Momoshiki and not playing a backseat like he did originally. Narratively, there will be so much payoff that comes with that we can't really discount that payoff that it would actually provide. However, there's one massive problem with this line of thinking that I feel like has to be addressed, which is the narrative was set up for both Boruto and Kawaki to get rid of their karma seals simultaneously. It's not enough for one to be free, because we saw that with Kawaki, he eventually ended back up with the karma seal. There has to be that also important balance, because those two are bound to each other in a lot of major ways. So it makes sense that this time they both get rid of their karma seals together. I think that one thing here is what will prevent this from actually happening. Could Momoshiki still transfer himself into Shibai's body, get blown apart by Boruto using a Shinjutsu version of the Rasengan that's fourth dimensional in power, and Boruto and Kawaki just finish the series of karma but have no Otsutsuki inside of them? Sure. However, I don't think we're going that route. I think that they're going to leave this series without the karma seal itself, but retain the power that actually is inside of their body. So I'm curious to see how you guys feel about this. While you think that over, click here to check out my collab I did with King Bullet on how strong Team 7 will be post time skip.